Hey everyone, it's me Casey and I'm here today with a 1960s makeup tutorial. I really like how it came out and I hope that you do too. So if you want to see how to recreate this look, keep on watching. I'm sorry I've been absent from YouTube for like 2 weeks, but with school and how hot it's been, filming just seems like a miserable and daunting experience. So I'm not in my room because it's just too hot up there. I'm in the bathroom where it feels a little less like hell. Okay, anyways, 1960s makeup. The 1960s did not have the same cake face that the 1950s did. Women, of course, still wanted flawless skin because women have always wanted that, but they toned it down a little bit from the 50s. So I'm going to take my CoverGirl True Blend foundation in this shade 405 Ivory. Dab this all over my face and use my fingers to blend it in. My mirror is over here, so that's where I'm going to be looking for the majority of the video. Sorry if that's annoying. So yeah, I'm just gonna spread that out and rub it in and try not to get it in your hair like I do. Next, I'm gonna take my Wet n Wild concealer and put it under my eyes and all the other places I need it. My skin has been awful lately. I'm gonna also use the concealer to highlight just a little bit because contouring started to be a thing, and not really like a big thing, but it was a thing. Like, they didn't use shimmery shades at all in their blush or anything, but they were starting to try and add shape to their face with contour and things. Oh my gosh, this is it right here. It's the worst. I'll just let you do your thing. If you want to ruin my life, that's fine. And hey, if you get foundation and concealer on your lips, that is great, because in the 1960s, they wanted their lips to have like no color at all, because it's all about the eyes. Next, I'm going to take my Mary Kay powder in the shade Light Ivory, and I'm gonna really pack it on there because, well, the term baking is used for this today, where you like oh my god, I'm inhaling so much, where you put powder on your face really heavily, you let it sit on your face and soak up the oils and everything. And then once you let it sit and do its thing for not a long time, like 10 seconds, and you inhale the cloud of setting powder dust that rises around you and you choke on it, then you dust all the excess powder off your face. So yeah, that's kind of like a trend in the makeup world these days, I would say. And it's kind of funny that they did it in the 60s. Who would have known? That made my face look really yellow. I promise I'm not yellow, that's just what the bathroom lights do to me. Moving on to the eyes. The 1960s were a time when women were basically focused on their eyes and that's all they cared about. Yeah, 60s were the decade of mod and graphic eyeliner and things. Starting off, I'm gonna take the Maybelline Color Tattoo in the shade Too Cool. It's just a frosty white shade. I'm just gonna use my ring finger to put this all over my eye. I'm using this as more of a base coat, but if you prefer white to blue, then just do the look without layering any eyeshadow on top. And if you do end up using the Color Tattoo, you gotta warm the product up a little bit before you actually put it on your eyes, or else it's gonna be really like gross and clumpy. And just bring that up into the hollow of your crease, but do not go past that. I forgot to do my brows for some reason, but we'll do that in a minute. I'm taking any really opaque black eyeshadow. I'm going to use Noir from Anastasia Beverly Hills. You're going to load up an angled brush and trace the crease of your eye. These days when people do cut crease, they tend to like wing it out, but we're not gonna do that because that's not really what they went for in the 60s. But if you're going for a more modern look, you can do that by all means. So just kind of let that black taper off when your crease ends, and just bulk up any places you think need it. At this point, whatever you do, do not blend it out. No matter how tempting it is, don't do it. Next, using a flat shader brush, I'm going to use the one from the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. I'm going to take a pastel sort of green. It's an e.l.f. thing. Along with bright, other really light colors were popular for eyeshadow, including light blues and light pinks. I'm just going to layer this on top of the white. Since this is kind of crappy eyeshadow, gotta use my finger to apply it, I guess. If you have the Sugar Pill Sparkle Baby palette, that would be a very, very good eyeshadow thing for this, because they're all very appropriate for the 60s. If you feel you need to clean up your cut crease, do so. Next, I'm gonna take my Sormé jetliner and I'm going to do a rather thick line on my upper lid. I'm not gonna wing it because in the 60s wings weren't like mandatory, you know, the way that they were in the 50s. And just follow the shape of your cut crease basically when you do your wing. Or not your wing, your liner, geez. I mean, if you want to do a wing, you can. It's just, I don't feel like putting myself under all kinds of unnecessary pressure today. And doing a wing would be doing that. Pretty good. After completing a very thick and rounded eyeliner, I am going to take my liquid eyeliner, and this is probably going to be the hardest part, so I'm very freaked out. Drawing very tiny fake eyelashes on my lower lash line. Those are my tiny fake eyelashes, and then I'm going to take my Rimmel Scandal Retro Glam mascara and generously apply it to both my top and bottom lashes. Being kind of out of order, I'm gonna move on to my brows, and I'm gonna take Fudge from the Anastasia Anastasia Beverly Hills Shadow Couture palette and fill in my brows. In the 60s, brows were like defined, but kind of like natural looking, if that makes any sense at all. There wasn't like a certain thickness of brow that was on trend during the time. It was just kind of enhance your natural features, if you know what I mean. But brows were made to be darker than your hair color usually. So these are the finished eyes. I really like it. I just tried to be very Twiggy-esque, but instead of doing the white eyeshadow she was known for, I felt like making it a little different with some blue. Next, on to like blush. Blush was not very prominent in the 60s. If anything, it was just pale pink. So I'm going to take this Bare Minerals thing in the shade Clear Radiance. It's just a very light, pale pink. And it's shimmery, which was not really the thing in the 60s. So if you have a matte pale pink blush, go for that. I'm just going to put that on the apples of my cheeks lightly, because they weren't too crazy about making anything stand out except for their eyes in the 60s. Lips were always very nude, and I'm going to mix together two ColourPop Ultra Matte lipsticks. I'm going to mix the shade Trap and the shade Clueless because I feel like this is just a little bit too dead, corpsey looking for the 60s. So I want to add a little bit of pink from Clueless. I'm just going to mix those together on my lips. But ColourPop is so fast drying, this is going to be a struggle. I'm just going to dab that in the center. And then go over with Trap. Okay, there was no real popular lip shape for the 60s. Everyone was just starting to like embrace the natural shape of their facial features. This is the finished 1960s makeup look. I hope you guys like it. Okay, so in conclusion, it's just easier for me to talk about the makeup while I'm not doing it, as silly as that sounds. The 60s were a really like creative and inventive time for makeup. Like the cut crease was invented basically, and just a whole lot of new things were being done. And women specifically were trying to be like unique and different with their makeup. Like even though mod was really popular in the 60s, like this look is, there were a lot of other things going on too, like Jackie Kennedy, she liked to keep it all fresh and natural, but then Twiggy liked to go all crazy like this. Yeah, people were just being more adventurous with their makeup, and that makes me really happy because that's what makeup is supposed to be all about. It's supposed to be fun and creative. That was so redundant. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe if you want to see more of me. Make sure to go check out my friend Kaylee's channel to see her recreation of 1960s makeup and the past decades that we did, and subscribe to her because that would be really nice of you. I hope to see you next time. Bye guys!